And we are on the air.
Yay! Welcome aboard Thursday. What's the date?
It is
June 8th.
June 8th.
What is the special? Why is June 8th interesting? I don't remember. Either way, happy Thursday. Suzie here. Suzie Health Solutions, Wenatchee Insurance. Matt's over at the other side of the table. Welcome to Suzilla.
Yep, and today we're going to talk about branding and marketing.
Again?
Yeah, because I had one of the clients picked up the handy dandy Nikki Darling brochure down there, and it's like, are kids really interested in the whole branding thing?
Are kids really interested in the whole branding thing?
That was the question.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Kids, maybe not. Well, okay. They're not interested in creating their own brand because they're not normally, entrepreneurs. Many of them are not. Some of them are. We've seen. We have to watch Shark Tank, and some teenager's going to come along and go, "Oh, this is my awesome beekeeping company," But and that's cool. I'm not gonna big grade. They're the ones that are interested in the branding and the marketing. But now, to be fair, teenagers are influenced by branding and marketing, even if they don't realize it.
Well, everyone is.
Exactly. So what does that have to do? So why was the question about are teenagers interested in this?
Well, that was the conversation piece that he started, and I'm like, yeah, they are. Because branding is really critical. Because it leads to, what actions you do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that teenagers and the Gen Yers get is the whole, they got the heads in the phones and they're lazy and they're entitled and blah 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 blah.
Every generation gets they're lazy and entitled. This is really kind of one of the first ones to do the head in the phone thing. But yeah, you get my drift.
Yeah. However, it is, from what we've experienced is it's completely in the opposite.
Yes.
There were some that said, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have, your kids shouldn't have screen time. Restrict their screen time."
Yes. That was when our kid was young. That was, they're only supposed to have, and that's still true. So people still do. You're gonna have like an hour a day of screen time, no TV, no computers, no pads, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's great until you need the computer for school. And that's a little awkward.
Yeah, and our son was ready to go and willing, and he's taught a lot of things about computers.
Oh yeah, he's taught me things about computers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you can do that. I didn't know you could do that. He's done that a couple of times to me. He's like, well, that's unexpected. Appreciated.
And it's really important to note that he's not interested in computers.
Mm-mm.
Other than just they're a sideline.
They're a tool.
And
a toy sometimes.
However, he's not interested in a career in that field.
Nope.
He hasn't taken he's taking a couple classes that are kind of how to use them better.
Yeah,
but not heavy duty programming.
No, he's kind of sketched out a little bit, but and that just proved to him that wasn't the direction he wanted to go.
Mm-hmm. Because in our generation, if you were going to do computers, you had did the serious computer lab classes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with his generation, it's a lot on the this is our world. We're gonna use them as tools, and it's not going to consume our lives.
Right.
And that's a really important distinction. And why he's got the leg up is because he had screen time.
Yeah, he wasn't restricted to that. We didn't treat screen time as evil, as it were, or a hindrance in his education.
We also didn't treat it like a babysitter.
No, we did not. Because I know TV was a babysitter for me when I was a kid, but that's pretty typical of us Gen Xers.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had working parents.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we're working parents too. But we also set up a system where he could be with us.
Yeah, and that's different, and we might see some more entrepreneurs go that route.
Gosh, I hope so. I think that'd be better for everybody.
and we've talked about it multiple times. It's about, we created a space in our office, a family space, so that, if after school, here comes the kids.
During the breaks.
During the breaks, we can play.
We're going to have kids around here this summer, which is kind of freaking awesome, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one less thing to worry about.
And that is, how to, really, if you really want to develop a family brand, that there's no substitute for, having the family around.
That's right. We use him to let us know what, if we're going through a good direction in branding.
Yeah.
We use his opinions for the next generation.
Yeah.
I interrupted you though. I'm sorry.
No. That's it. It really is reflective of that entire encompassing family.
Right.
Is that usage of, hey, kid, how does your peers see this?
Mm-hmm.
Here, try this. Does this work? One of the amazing things that we talked about was the fact that the kids his age don't listen to radio stations.
No, they really don't, unless they're in their car with their parents.
Yeah.
Our kid listens to his the music he's got on his phone.
Mm-hmm. He's lucky. He's he'll do Spotify and stream it in with Bluetooth connect. But yeah, his generation is no longer listening to those pop stations that we I'm used to for 50 plus years.
Yeah. So that means the advertising that's on those stations is being wasted if they're targeting those kids.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons why we don't really target that generation too much.
Well, we use layers.
Oh yeah, we absolutely do. And layers are a great thing to be cognizant of if you're building a brand. Mm-hmm. If you have a very specific product that appeals to a very specific demographic, then maybe you target specifically. We have a broad variety, so we layer like layers.
Yeah, I want to circle back to something because I didn't get a chance to interact because this is something that our son has pointed out. Mm-hmm. Don't use the word family in your family branding.
I didn't hear him say that.
It's one of the words that have been co-opted by extremists.
Oh, there you go.
There are a bunch of words, and they will attract a particular audience that will push out others.
Yeah,
and limit where you want to take it. In marketing terms, we call them power words.
Yeah.
And family is one of the ones that have kind of been dirtied up.
That's a shame.
Because it kind of goes back to that, mom, pop, minivan, 2.5 kids, a dog.
The nuclear family concept.
It's a nuclear family, and which is incredibly rare.
Did it actually really exist?
Other on TV, I'm not sure.
I don't think it actually existed like it was like it was touted. The Moms for Liberty. There's another word that got ruined.
Well, they got tagged by
the Southern Poverty Law Center. Yeah. They're now considered a hate group. Mm-hmm. But Stella had a run-in with our local president, who was talking. Where her thing is like, well, do you believe in nuclear families? Like, no, they don't exist. Why do we don't need to have these cookie cutter stereotypes because they don't really exist.
Yeah, and odds are the mom there was, probably on the other side of 60 without kids in the house.
I don't know. I think she was younger. I think she was our generation. I think she's I'd have to go back and look. But the whole Moms for Liberty are Gen Xers, usually with adult kids, I think.
Yeah, they got more time on their hands.
Yeah, we have a
Um,
teenager, but that's because we started late.
And they're siphoning marketing materials that was generated in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a grassroots organization.
It is not grassroots.
It's so astroturfed, it's not even funny.
I know. It is pretending to be grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's marketing.
That's marketing.
That is absolutely marketing. I hate that things like this is going to ruin the word mom.
I don't know. Looking at it, I don't think it's going to ruin the word mom.
Liberty's shot.
Definitely shot.
Yes, it's been used for
it's overused.
Overused,
and it's been overused in a very negative manner.
Exactly, in a bunch of different circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So it's ruined, which is a real shame. Actually, any of the stuff that is nationally supportive, I don't want to use I don't even want to use the word patriotic anymore.
Well, one of my fellow veterans pointed out that we are trotted out to deny people benefits.
The veterans are? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, absolutely. Take care of the veterans before you take care of that homeless dude. Well, that homeless dude, A, might be a veteran, and B, we don't have immigrants, veterans first, immigrants next, at all.
That was another concept was, and then when we get down to helping us, mm-hmm. It's like, oh, no, that's socialism. We can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't. It's becoming ridiculous. But yeah, mm-hmm. And then there's a particular image of veterans that are being put on this weird pedestal that that if we don't fit in that image, we must not be veteran enough.
Veteran enough. I haven't heard that one, but I'm not on most of the veteran stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're not, and if you're not veteran enough, you can't be patriotic. Grr, grr, grr. You've got to think the way I do, or you're not good enough. Grr, grr.
And they've never served.
No, they never. The ones who are the most vitriolic have never served. Mm-hmm. Maybe they, took a flyer once. took a weekend tester out at the, out the range with the National Guard, but they never served.
Yeah.
One of the funniest ones I ever encountered is a guy who was, he joined the 3 Percenters.
Yeah.
And which of course is another hate group.
Yeah.
Because he's rah, 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 veterans, rah, rah. And it's like, well, you never served. It's like, well, yeah, I was a junior airman or something. It's like,
no, what? He was in the Navy. It was the Navy cadet program in high school.
Yeah, not actually service.
Yeah.
No, it was BS, flat out BS.
Yeah, and the 2 of the veterans that he knew, I was one of them that he tried to recruit for, looked at him and was like, no.
Oh yeah.
Because we saw the writing on the walls.
Oh yeah.
On the manipulation that they wanted to co-opt what we had done.
Oh yeah.
And really corrupt it.
Oh yeah. It absolutely is corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disgusting.
But
that's still marketing and branding.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be used for good or evil.
Mm-hmm. And part of that branding is that ability to say no.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Because there are points where you've got to say, you know what, this is not a good fit.
Yeah.
And if you say it honestly, hey, this is not a good fit, you come out clean.
Yeah, because you're honest.
Yeah, and that's the important thing is that upfront honesty will send you miles. I had a client late last night after we closed saying, hey, I need a policy. I was like, look, we are in class was till 8:30. Mm-hmm. Well, can you do it after? No.
Boundaries, man. Boundaries.
You're already pushing 14 plus hours. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I want to write you a quality. There is no reason that writing an insurance policy has that level of urgency.
Yeah. Well, it was car, wasn't it?
It was a car.
Yeah. No, there's if Yeah. So
Because that level of urgency to make a purchase for something that is planned,
yeah,
because insurance is a very planned event.
it's
You have conversations
red
with it.
flags.
It sends up red flags, and that's part of their branding. Everyone has their own brand.
Okay, so he works on. Wow. So if you don't recognize that, sometimes that's how you end up dating somebody who's chock full of red flags.
Yeah,
because you're not paying attention.
You're
to the
not
branding.
paying attention to the red flags they're throwing out.
Or you're buying their marketing.
Because everyone's marketing something.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the conversation before on how important an elevator speech is.
Yes. Yes. Can you synopsize what you do in 3 minutes or less?
Actually, it's less than that. You're talking less than a minute.
Yeah, that's true. Elevators are quick.
And it really showed when we walk into a political gathering and the fresh candidates are up there and they can't sum up in that less than a minute what they're doing.
And that's because they are undertrained in their elevator speeches, the fresh ones. Now, to be fair, we had a few years ago, we had a candidate who had been around for a long time, and he did also not have an elevator speech, and it was dry and boring, and I swear he lost votes because of that.
Yeah.
It's like, I like this guy, but I cannot see him influencing people to vote his way.
And these are to be fair, these are individuals that have speaking professions, like lawyers and teachers.
Yeah.
And, they're in front of people on a regular basis talking. And it's like, what do you mean you don't have an elevator speech?
Well, a teacher and a lawyer, they don't normally have to have those. Their branding is the long form, the education through long form. They get it.
It doesn't have to be, though.
No.
Some of the most poignant things I've ever heard in the classroom was less than 30 seconds.
Well, yeah. But teachers aren't taught that way. They're not taught to teach that way. Some of them figured out, but they're not taught to teach that way. They're taught the long form, and so it's hard for them to convert that to the short form elevator speech.
Well, this is just for interactions, though. I mean, my one of my favorite ones is from Luonga.
Right, may you rest in peace.
May rest in peace. And it was about algebra. And it's like he drew a letter A on the board, and it was like, the standard quadratic equation, A plus B equals C. And he's like, look, you use the letter A every single day. Do you know what it means?
That's weird. That's weirdly deep.
And it's like, no, we don't. It's like, exactly. You don't know what it means, and you use it every day. Algebra is no different.
Again, weirdly deep.
And that was the spotlight. It's like, you got to be able to have that 30 seconds of hey, this is what it works. Because in that, it's a snap. It was when we were doing the parade.
Yeah.
And I was concerned because I didn't know, because normally we have a 30-second, or less window.
Yeah.
And we're getting down to a 1 to 2 second window.
Yeah.
And we had to go. It's like, okay, well, what do? We grabbed the rainbow bags.
Yep.
And
we just rock it.
And Suzie rocked out about 200 bags in less than a half hour.
Oh, yeah.
Had people seeking her out for them.
Yes. It did. People were coming to find me. Who's that lady with the bag? Here you go.
And that is, setting up branding and tools, because, everyone's familiar with it. It's a pride parade. Oh my gosh, what do you mean no one has rainbow bags? Here you go.
Well, okay, to be fair, no one did in the parade. Parades do not normally hand out bags. We probably would have seen if we'd managed to their little pop-up there, we might have seen more giveaways.
Yeah.
But we were the parade. We were not intending to do a parade this year. We were intending to be a table, but that's not what happened. So we pivoted, which is also part of marketing. Which is being prepared to pivot.
Part of small business.
Oh yeah.
Our business in general is the ability to pivot well.
Yes, and quickly if necessary.
And we've been pivoting. We had a couple. At least one Pride event pulled out.
Yep, and
last minute.
Yes, and one we're not expecting, but if it shows up, great.
And it's to be fair that they're part timers.
Yeah.
They are they run an organization after they've worked or worked in the garden. They're really part timers. For us, our branding, our imaging, our talking with the public is 24/7.
It is. It really, really is.
And then that's why, when Shayla was talking, it's like, it started to dawn on me, yeah, the YWCA is a really good choice to partner with because they have staff that's their job.
Yeah. They're absolutely committed to their mandate.
And that is, it's like, well, maybe it's time for us to, take a step back from the, if they've got a staff, woohoo, they're serious.
Yeah.
If they don't have a staff, maybe we should take a step back from
see how
those organizations.
Serious they are.
Yeah, because the ones that have given us the most problems
are the ones who are definitely not. That's not their focus.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but that's where it's at.
Yeah.
It's we need people that are actually seriously involved with the community.
Yeah.
Because we're we set out and designed this to get maximum exposure for the apple unwinding in North Central Washington.
Absolutely, and that was our goal, to make sure that people knew that this was happening and that they were at risk of losing health insurance.
Yep.
And we did not want that to happen.
Oh yeah, and it's sad that a couple bad apples, to turn a phrase there, have decided to block those accesses. I won't say block, I say limit, because we put in layers.
Oh yeah. We just worked around. We had one that was annoying, and we've worked around it.
Yeah.
It was one that we really were interested in taking care of too,
Yeah.
but we pivoted. We worked around it a lot.
Pivot. And yeah, it's created another completely separate opportunity to a completely separate demographic.
Which we're not hating.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It makes our long days longer.
Yeah.
And that's one of the key issues, because yeah, we're to do these events, normally we're working, it's nothing for us to do a 10-hour day, 12-hour day.
No, it's pretty typical for us to do 10.
But we're also talking now weekends.
Yeah. We're not really getting any, we're not really going to have a lot of time off over the summer. But that's part of the commitment to our clients and to our community.
Yeah, because it was, there was a point where they were waffling, and I looked at my two partners and said, if they come back and have us there, they're going to treat us like crap.
Yeah.
And because that is what we fully expected. If they came back. Instead, we wandered off, and it's the Snohomish Pride. It was awesome.
It was.
It was really well treated and well received. But yeah, it's really a shame that organization that has fallen like that.
But my guess is it will resurrect like a phoenix in the next 2 years.
And it's going to really depend on
the leadership. Because they're in a leadership transition right now.
Okay.
We know this because what we do know from what we can see is that there's a leadership transition happening, and that's okay, because sometimes that's not a bad thing. Shake things up a little.
It is, because if someone is always hiring, it means they're always firing.
Yes.
Or they're always quitting.
This is not a firing situation.
Is.
They are seeking new members. We know that the leadership that this group has right now is a little bit toxic. So that's why I'm thinking a transition here is not a bad thing.
Well, it's going to take some remarkable to break that toxicity.
Exactly. And the most remarkable people I knew that were part of that left. So we've seen this happen in other ways. I saw this happen with theater groups. Yeah. It happens, especially with nonprofit or volunteer situations. It's weird. Humans are weird that way. Yeah. I've seen this happen over and over again, and it's possible that this committee is going to completely collapse and rise again in a couple of years. We'll see.
It's hard to say.
Right now, we're in observation. We're in total observation mode with that because we're not connected to it anymore.
Yep.
And that's okay. We're allowed.
So however, the final, because we're right into the final, is the kids and branding.
Yeah, back to that.
It's, there's certain perceptions that you got to bust through. And the old timers will have these amazing observations from the elders of yore that are usually completely wrong.
No, yeah, completely irrelevant to today.
Completely irrelevant. I say that because Bill Gates was famously said at one point that he wants to hire someone lazy because they're smart and that they'll figure things out. And here we are 20 years later from when he said that, from people throwing that brand of lazy. We've seen some extremists throw that brand of lazy on immigrants while simultaneously say that they'll steal their jobs.
That was so old.
But those are examples of brands being used negatively to shape and influence around you. It's really important to pay attention to, red flags that are getting thrown. Particularly, it's like, okay, how do you show up, to your workplace? What have you designed? Just recently had a conversation with a Facebook group on the RV place we used to go to.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, they were all trumped up, and I guess they gave one of the people that wanted to get their trailer fixed some flack on the way in.
What?
Yeah, it was weird, and we battled them all last year.
Yeah, we couldn't get them to make an appointment with us.
Yeah, we tried multiple times, and so we ended up setting up plans like, oh, we're going to go on the other side of town. Grab them, and it was amazing on how fast
they crushed it. They absolutely crushed it.
And so I dropped the name in the Facebook group. Say, hey, go to these guys. They helped us out because it's weird, and people don't understand those affiliations. Another weird one that's going through the Facebook groups is dentists with the creepy Christian vibe.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And it's not just, I have a cross of smiling children in my lobby or literature about, a church. It's the affiliations that they have that are donated to literally groups that are trying to kill them. And they throw off these creepy vibes.
Yeah.
So it's starting to become, it's recognized in town.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, really bizarre. What are you looking at?
Oh, sorry. I thought I saw something on your ring. It's not anything.
So,
But my eye got caught. Sorry.
Mhm.
There's a bug in here. That's not helping either. That's a good place to stop.
That is a good place to stop.
I'll go kill the bug.
So, hey, pay attention to what red flags, what flags you're throwing,
Mm-hmm.
and what flags your partners are throwing.
And the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
You would be surprised how people subconsciously market themselves. And consciously.
Yep.
All right. Have a great Thursday. We'll talk to you next week. We'll catch you up on what's going on with Yakima Pride. Because that's where we're headed this weekend. Bye.